According to the oldest teachings and one's own intuition in this regard, the universe is mental, that is, it is a creation of the spirit. The universe is created by a higher intelligence. It is a spiritual universe. But this is only one side of the whole truth. From this side, we can say that the only real thing is the creative mind, which we call the All, and that all its creations are similar to a dream or a passing imagination, that is to say, without their own substance and in continuous change. When we say that things have no substance of their own, we can easily make the mistake of not considering them as they really are. Our nature, like everything in creation, has two aspects, the absolute and the relative. This is known as the cosmic paradox. It is an aspect of the principle of polarity. Everything that manifests in the universe has two poles and a double nature. Creation is polarized. The oldest teachings and writings are full of references to the appearance of the paradox in regard to the problems of life and being. As you well know, a paradox expresses a contradiction, at least apparent, between two things or ideas, even defying common sense or appearing absurd. So, try not to make the mistake of leaving out the other side of any issue, although this defies common sense. But if you don't resolve this duality, your life will always be full of limits and contradictions. You, who study and seek to deepen your existence and want to know your true nature, make sure you grasp the cosmic paradox of the absolute and the relative, so as not to get bogged down in the mire of half-truths and false interpretations. Harmonizing the limited with the unlimited is the key. Limits exist to transcend them. Movement is imbalance in search of balance. So reflect, feel and always seek balance in every thought, in every word and in every action. When we say that the universe is a mental creation, that it is the work of a superior spirit, which we call, for lack of a better name, the All. The entire creation resembles an insubstantial dream. From the absolute point of view, of course, the universe and everything in it has the nature of an illusion, a dream, something rather phantasmagorical, compared to the All itself. We can realize this even with our limited point of view, since we speak of the world as a fleeting spectacle, which appears and disappears, is born and dies. We are sensitive to impermanence and change, to finiteness and insubstantiality. We do not understand life and death, and therefore we fear living and dying. Everything that has a beginning and an end must be, in a certain sense, unreal, illusory, without a true substance, and the universe that we perceive, nor each one of us, escapes this rule. From the absolute point of view, there is nothing real except the All, no matter what terms we may use to think or talk about it. Whether the universe is a material creation or a spiritual creation in the mind of the All, it is insubstantial, impermanent and subject to change. It is important that you realize this fact thoroughly, in order to truly understand the mental nature of the universe. But the absolute point of view shows only one aspect of existence, the other aspect is relative. We can say that absolute truth is things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as our highest understanding can understand them. God's point of view is absolute. The human point of view is relative. Obviously, we cannot consciously know the absolute point of view, much less try to describe it, but we can know it intuitively and unconsciously, assuming that our consciousness is a projection of the unique consciousness, creator of everything, what we have been calling the All. And so, while for the All, the universe must be unreal and illusory, a mere dream or the result of its imagination. For the finite minds that are part of that universe, and that perceive it through their physical senses, the universe is very real, and must be considered so. Recognizing the absolute aspect, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying the facts and phenomena of the universe as they appear to our senses and faculties. Remember, we are not the All, although we are its spirit. For example, we all recognize the fact that matter exists. It is evident to our senses. We will do badly if we don't. We experience the physical world. The density of matter, its shape, its limits, its texture, its own characteristics. We define it, we value it, we become attached to it. And yet, even finite minds understand the scientific explanation that according to modern physics, there is no such thing as matter. What we call matter is merely an aggregation of atoms, which are made up of particles that are actually energy, vibrating at high speed. Matter and energy are equivalent. We hit a stone and feel the impact. It seems to be real, even though we know it is just what we have said before. But also keep in mind that our foot, which feels the impact through our brain, is also matter, made up of particles that are nothing more than vibrating energy, and in fact our brains are the same. And, perhaps, if it were not for our mind, we would not even notice the foot or the stone at all. That is, since matter is essentially energy, where does this pain come from? Matter is important to us as long as we remain on the plane of matter. But even recognizing that matter is essentially energy, that it is the movement of the mind, this does not make it less matter. Being on the plane of matter, you must recognize its phenomena, so you can control it, as all masters do to a greater or lesser degree, but you can only do so by applying superior forces. We make a mistake when we try to deny the existence of matter in the relative aspect. We can deny its dominance over us, and rightly so, but we must not try to ignore it in its relative aspect, at least while we remain on its plane. Nor are the laws of nature any less constant or effective, when we know them, even though we know that they are simply mental creations. They are in full force at different levels. Each plane of being and life has its own laws, although in essence there is no separation. We only overcome the laws of the lower planes, applying the laws of the higher planes, that is to say, the mind controls matter, and it is only in this way that we can carry out a true transformation or spiritual alchemy. This process is not just imagination, it involves the correct mental attitude, correct breathing, correct posture and a correct way of life. We cannot escape the laws and principles of nature, but we can, and must, know how the different planes of our existence work, be it spiritual, mental and physical, and learn to control them. There are levels that we don't even dream of, but that is part of our evolution, and one day we will be able to access it, with an open heart and a clear mind. It is not only our personal evolution, it is the evolution of our species and that of the entire universe. The physical or material plane, the level of our daily three-dimensional reality, is associated with a state of consciousness that corresponds to a certain brain vibration, dominated by beta waves. It is the cortical activity, particularly of the left hemisphere, that produces a type of sequential, chained thought, that is, one thought attached to the other, which creates a physical reality, lacking in rhythm, fragmented, dense and conceptual. When there are no spaces or silences between thoughts, what is generated, just like in music, is noise. As long as you do not transcend the limits of your conscious thought, you will always remain a prisoner of its limits, and this will be the scope and size of your life, neither more nor less. There are many disciplines and methods that can help you with that goal. Some deeper and more complete than others. You must follow with heart the one that suits you best. Aikido is a direct and effective method to transcend your limits. Strengthening your energy, unifying your mind and body, developing a powerful breath and a generous spirit. But you have to accept that in order to effect a profound transformation of your being, you must perform your spiritual alchemy in your daily life. In other words, apply these principles in your daily thoughts and actions. You must study these principles, reflect, open your mind, increase your energy level, train your body and extend your desires. With a sincere and generous heart. In this way, you will be able to go beyond your limits, embrace the contradictions of life, cure diseases and create a happy and luminous reality. The purpose of this lesson is to convey to you this fundamental principle of balance. Even if you intuitively understand and accept that you live in an insubstantial universe, created by the mind, and that your own body is a matter of change and transformation. Living light crystallized for a brief moment. You must assimilate that you experience a human life, living for a while in a physical reality, which sometimes hurts and weighs. If you understand the value of matter and the physical world as a vehicle for experiences, you will learn to control it and deploy your mental power, which is another of the forces of nature, to create the reality you want and need. Your senses can deceive you, but your heart cannot. Your thoughts can confuse you, but your inner silence is a source of clarity. The essential is invisible to the eyes. Always consider both sides of all things. Thanks for following our videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us spread the knowledge.